Once we get to the right pressure on the Starliner spacecraft, the next step
And Chell Houston, for the hatch differential pressure gauge, can you give us another reading? Go.
Houston for CST. The needle is on the edge of the green range, between the green range and the white range. So looking at the numbering, it looks like it's 0.7 or 0.8.
All right, copy that. Thanks for the report. And Station Houston for Starliner hatch, we're happy with that reading based on the other telemetry we have here about the pressure equalization. So you're go to pick up with the CST hatch opening.
Okay, copy, go to open the CST hatch.
All right, looks like they have a good pressure reading on the Starliner spacecraft, and the crew is go to open the hatch. As I mentioned, they will grab that latch bar, they'll turn it 1 1/4 of a turn to the left. You know, the vehicle is in space, so there could be this phenomenon known as suction cup effect, and so they might have to, you know, turn that latch just another 1/4 of a turn to give it some more force. And then the hatch itself also has 2 sort of kicker plates, and you could sort of think about that as like built-in butter knives on a pickle jar. They also have the opportunity to use a tool, kind of a standalone butter knife type tool, if they need to just release that pressure just a little bit to
All right, and it looks like the hatch is open to the Starliner. We're getting Bob Hines is the first astronaut to enter Starliner in orbit, successfully opening up the hatch. This view coming from the Starliner itself.
See 1103.
That hatch opening time was 11:04 a.m. Central Time.
Hey, Chell, Farmer, Houston, if you can, just a reminder for the PPE for ingress.
very cool to see from inside the Starliner as that hatch opened.
Yeah,
sorry, can you repeat last?
Yeah, for Farmer, can we just get them reminded that we need PPE on? Just get the goggles down.
Okay, thank you.
So as the hatch was opened, you may have noticed that there's actually no hinges on the IVA hatch. So the crew basically can grab onto two handles and sort of push it into place inside the Starliner spacecraft. From there, they're going to position it into a location for storing, strap it into place. And one of the next procedures that they've got is they're actually going to latch the other hatch, the hatch that the crew would enter if they were going to be launching on the Starliner, just for precautionary purposes. That would be done, obviously, if there were a crew riding up on Starliner, but this time around, the International Space Station astronauts will be doing that.
We did see that side hatch open when we saw some of the video of some of the teams out at the launch pad prepping the Starliner, and that's the hatch that's being referenced, that hatch on the side. This, of course, being the forward hatch, now open, 11:04 a.m. Central Time. You can see Kjell Lindgren peeking through. Of course, Bob Hines was the first astronaut to enter the Starliner in orbit. They're wearing their personal protective gear as part of a standard safety measure as they enter uncrewed spacecraft. They'll be being the first humans to enter. Just make sure there's no FOD or foreign object debris surrounding. Getting crystal clear, high definition views from the cameras inside Starliner. They have cameras in hand to document the condition of Starliner. Those images will be sent down to teams here on the ground to analyze, to see the condition of the Starliner, as these humans are the first to see it from the inside in orbit.
Starliner is equipped with 4 cameras inside the cabin. So we're seeing the IVA hatch camera. We saw the Rosie views, and that is basically looking at the commander seat. There's also one that shows a view of the whole cabin, and so you might be able to see the gravity indicator a little bit better in that view, and that is Jebediah Kerman from the Kerbal Space Program. And then we also have an out the window view, which is really cool to see, and we've captured a lot of that on the ride up and through this operation, and we will capture more on the return to Earth and hopefully be able to share that with the public.
And we're getting a new view now. As you mentioned, Rebecca, 4 cameras inside the Starliner spacecraft. We're now getting a view of Kjell Lindgren, Bob Hines, and Rosie the Rocketeer, all in the same shot. You can even see the zero-G indicator there in the back.
Rosie is definitely representative of the entire team that's been working toward this moment. You know, Rosie's motto is "We can do it," and she definitely did it, and so did the Starliner. This view of Rosie, you can see she's wearing a polka-dotted mask and bandana, and that was actually sewn by May Cryer. She was an original Rosie the Riveter for Boeing during World War II. So it's nice to see the fruits of her labor be able to go up to space too. You know, I mentioned May Cryer having sewn together this bandana and mask, and you can see here she actually signed it and left a little note for the Starliner team, and we'll be looking forward to getting this back to her or any organization that she chooses to send it to when it returns to Earth and to the moon and the stars, is what May Cryer said.
Fantastic. And of course, Rosie the Rocketeer now in orbit with the Expedition 767 crew. Of course, the hatch is open. 11:04 a.m. Central Time was that open time. We'll have a formal welcome ceremony here in about 50 minutes. So we're targeting noon Central Time to start that. But
on 2 from PMA 2.
Okay, ciao.
We're looking for the side hatch handle retention strap, and farmer's gone from one end of the post insertion bag to the other, and we have an HLA restraint and an IVA hatch restraint. Are either of these the restraint we're looking for?
Yeah, Chell, it's the HLA restraint is the one y'all are looking for.
Okay, copy. HLA restraint. Thank you.
And Chell, the other restraint that you called out, you're going to need that a little later in the procedure.
The HLA restraint that they're talking about with the crew is actually what's going to be put over that side hatch that we mentioned earlier. Just a precautionary measure because there's no crew on board to have latched that into place before launch. They're going to go ahead and take care of that here, and that'll just keep them safe. As they're moving about the cabin, they're going to have a number of things that they'll be doing aboard the space station, charging tablets, removing cargo. So just a precautionary measure that they're going to go ahead and put that restraint on. We are getting a really great view of Rosie's co-pilot, Jebediah Kerman, and the background there is, the program has been through, a journey to get here, and some of our engineers actually learned orbital mechanics on the Kerbal Space Program, and so they asked if we could go ahead and fly up Jebediah on this flight.